This would be a great first date dessert. It could be a great last date dessert. It could be a final meal if you're in jail. I don't know. So I'm a man that loves ice cream, but even greater than my love for ice cream is my love for frozen yogurt. Back when I was younger in Richmond, BC, there's a place called Timothy's that makes the best frozen yogurt. You see them make it right in front of you. So what I want to do today is I want to try to figure out how do you make delicious frozen yogurt at home. Welcome to the culture of cookery. So we're going to go to Richmond, get ourselves some Timothy's, and let me show you how good this frozen yogurt actually is. Hello, can I get a single mango in a cone? Man, exactly like I remember it back when I was a kid. The balance is absolutely perfect. And then the way that they crush the fruit and the yogurt, you still get chunks of fruit throughout. That's probably a really bad photo now. There we go. Does that look better? When I asked them about possible ingredients, do you know if the cream cheese thing or whatever, the yogurt thing, does it have eggs or anything in it? I don't know. Is that dishonest? They were saying that the ingredients in there are milk products and then like a bunch of sugar and bacterial cultures. I'm not gonna find bacterial cultures. Who wants to do that? Also, interestingly enough, yogurt wasn't the first thing on that list. I think one of the things that I'll run into is the process of how do I get that frozen fruit and the yogurt block, whatever I make it into, to be together to kind of amalgamate into this like creamy, delicious. How do I do that? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll figure it out. I'm done looking awkward here with all these people walking by. So we'll see you in the kitchen and see what we can create. So what you're gonna need for this recipe is half a cup of heavy cream, 3 cups of yogurt, I'm using Greek, 1 tablespoon of syrup, and 3/4 a cup of sugar. If you have honey, you could probably use that too. Now, you may be wondering, why include all the heavy cream at all? Why can't I just throw it in with just yogurt? Well, the reason is that yogurt alone would have a high water content, meaning you would have an icy frozen yogurt. But by cutting the yogurt with some heavy cream, you're basically increasing the fat, which when fat is frozen gives us extra creaminess. The addition of corn syrup and sugar also add sweetness, but also contribute to that overall texture as well. Basically what you're going to do is mix this all together until you get a homogeneous mixture. In retrospect, I probably should have used a bigger bowl, but I didn't want to do the dishes. So make sure to succeed where I've failed. So we got our mix. And we'll do a quick taste test here. So with the cream, with the frozen yogurt, it's sweet, it's creamy. I'm interested to see how this freezes. So let's do this. Just saying, this looks promising. It looks really promising. What up? Oh yeah, here we go. This is really good. There's a certain richness that comes from that Greek yogurt that's really like, come on now. I can see how if you froze this and mixed it with frozen fruit, it could hit that exact consistency that you're looking for. First taste test, I like this. I'm gonna freeze it, see what happens. So we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and just in case you don't know how to freeze it, it's exactly like I did in my ice cream video, which is linked right here. Just saying, check out the texture of this. I'm gonna say it's almost like whipped cream, like thicker whipped cream, but man, this is gonna be a party. So it's a couple days later. The frozen yogurt has had a good amount of time to freeze, and let's see what it's like. Here is our frozen yogurt. The texture is completely different. It froze a lot harder than maybe I would have liked it to freeze. So here we go, straight from the freezer, and let's try this out. Let's see what it tastes like. Immediately, obviously a little bit icier than it was before I froze it, obviously. However, as soon as it hits the tongue, you still get that rich, that creaminess, the tang of the Greek yogurt, and the kind of sweetness on the back end. So I think this is really delicious. And I think this is probably as close as it's gonna get to the kind of frozen yogurt they have at that bougie place. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some frozen fruit, and I'm gonna take a big chunk of this, and I'm gonna blitz it together, and hopefully it is going to taste similar. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So after test mix number 1, it seems as though we're getting some good mix of the berries. However, our frozen yogurt is not mixing in at all. So while I sit here and eat this frozen failure, I will see you tomorrow. And we'll find a better way to make frozen yogurt. I promise you. See you then. So as you can probably tell, it has been a while since I've recorded because life is busy. And so today is the last day I'm gonna spend on this video. So we're going round 3, trying to see if I can mimic something equivalent to Timothy's ice cream. Here we go. So this time around, I used frozen mangoes instead because, you know, mangoes. Anyways, I decided to let the frozen yogurt sit out for a little bit, then proceeded to cut it into smaller chunks. I figured the frozen blocks would mix more easily into the frozen fruit if they were a little bit smaller. I also decided to opt for the Vitamix instead of the food processor because I thought it might do a better job mixing. I might have been wrong. So maybe Vitamix isn't the best way to go, but we'll try it again. Just saying, I'm smelling some like burning smell right now. If I can get one good bowl of frozen yogurt out of this, then it'll all have been worth it. Check this out. I mean, it's not perfect, but that looks pretty delish. It's kind of fancy melon ballers, so here we go. Frozen yogurt made at home using simple ingredients that you can find basically anywhere. So let's try this out. Okay, maybe it's because I love mango, and mango is my favorite flavor of anything all time. But I'm gonna say it's actually not that far off. This is bomb. It's right on the money. Honestly, that's a really good frozen yogurt. So, what have we learned? If you want that kind of creamy frozen yogurt, you're gonna need to cut the actual yogurt with some whipped cream. Man, that's good. Okay, number 2, the food processor works. You just kind of get more chunks, but definitely the blender is probably a no bueno idea. I had some definite kind of fumes coming off, and that's probably not something that you want to do, especially if you have a Vitamix that's pretty expensive. Unless maybe you bought it from Costco and you can return it, but that's not ethical, so don't do that. So that's really it for today. Frozen yogurt made at home. Is it doable? Is it possible? For sure. Is it a bit of a hassle? Yeah, but if you don't live in Richmond and you can't go to Timothy's all the time, this is a pretty good way to kind of meet that cravings. Anyways, you should make this. Oh, what I forgot to say. If you are interested in food challenges and you want to challenge yourself culinarily, join our Facebook group. It's called Cooking Challenge Community. If you're interested in reading instead of watching, check out the blog, thecultureofcookery.com. I've got a couple posts up there, but it's kind of fresh, new. If you would like to do that, check that out there. I'll provide a link right there. Catch you on the next one. Peace.